Hey guys, Kingdom Cakes here. Recently on Twitter, I've been seeing some people argue about which personality of Sora is the best, whether that be Kingdom Hearts 2 or Kingdom Hearts 3, and it just gave me this idea to make this video explaining his personality throughout the games that we play him in. I just thought it had been fun, and maybe we could all decide together which is the best. Or if you don't care, just want to sit through, that's cool too.
I know now, without a doubt, Kingdom Hearts is light!
Sora in Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix is a pretty normal kid, a bit unsure about things, but determined to see one journey from one world to another with his island friends. Though as time goes on, you can see him grow to be a little bit more confident and even become more of the social butterfly we see later in the series. You know, not to say that he isn't social now, but you know what I mean. On the island, he and the other kids will participate in play fights, and in the Dive to the Heart, where the kids ask him those questions, it shows how he thinks. Because of this, it shows that even though he's a normal kid, he's still pretty strong and thinks a lot about what he wants, his likes, and his fears. It shows his mentality being strong. At least, that's what I think, anyway. In Final Mix, we get a bit more info about how he was when he was younger, but I'll get into that in Birth by Sleep. Overall, though, he's just a kid with a big heart. Even if he doesn't know what's going on, he still tries to help his friends and people who need it, despite the world order. Like with Alice in Wonderland. Or, literally, every other Disney character in the game.
We are just nobodies who have no one to be, yet we still are.
Chain of Memory Sora at the start isn't really different from the end of Kingdom Hearts 1. However, as each floor he goes up, he gets more annoyed and angry because of his memories messing up. During the first floor, we see that he recognizes his friends, but is sad that they don't know it's him. Even still, Sora would always say that they were friends, even if the memory of the Final Fantasy crew was confused by everything. This shows that even if people were to forget who he was, he wouldn't stop caring for them. And I think if that were to happen, Sora would be sad, but he would do his best to jog their memory in some way. Heck, he tried to do that with the Riku replica.
Riku. I think I'll jog your memory.
At the end of the game, we are shown that despite even being lied to by Naminé, he forgives her and understands why she did what she had to. Not only that, but he makes a promise with her that even if he forgets, that they would meet again with no lies. Sora's able to forgive and try to remedy what happened to him if he finds it to be reasonable. This journey was to find King Mickey and Riku after they closed the door to darkness in Kingdom Hearts 1, which goes on through Kingdom Hearts 2. Sora's a determined character, if that wasn't obvious in the last game.
Looks like my summer vacation is over.
When Kingdom Hearts 2 starts, we don't join back with Sora, but with his nobody, Roxas, which is important for me to say. Let me explain. When we start, Roxas is just living his life with his friends near the end of summer. They hang out, eat ice cream, laugh, solve some weird mysteries, go on trips, yada yada yada. However, with those weird mysteries coming out of nowhere, one thing is for sure is that it's all related to Roxas. And he is probably the most confused by all of this, not to mention randomly getting something called a Keyblade, and now is being told his life that he knew was a lie. Roxas, rightfully, is pretty mad about what's going on. To him, his entire life was Twilight Town, but is starting to learn that everything he knew was wrong. He's angry, confused, sad, and he takes it out on those who's trying to take his life away, like Diz. As fate has it, though, he had to rejoin Sora in order for Sora to wake up from his year-long nap at the end of Chain of Memories. When we finally get to Sora, we see that at the start he's excited and very happy to see Donald and Goofy, who are, also happy to see him. They agree to go on one more journey to find Riku and the King before they go back to their own home worlds. Though, eventually they find that the journey will be a lot tougher, and there's been no sign of Riku. Not long in their journey, Kairi gets kidnapped too. Despite trying to be his usual cheerful self, hearing about all this, about what he has to do, plus with Roxas joining back with him, giving all of Roxas' feelings to Sora, he seems more angry and bloodthirsty, but honestly, it makes sense. This version of him seems to be a lot of the fandom's favorites, and for good reason. He's a lot more confident, he shows more emotion than he did in KH1, in my opinion, but I don't think it's really fair to compare him to Dream Drop Distance or how he was in Kingdom Hearts 3. As much as I don't like DDD Sora, at least in the beginning of the game, He's grown up since then, even though it's only been a few months in between games roughly, to a year. Though it's nice to see more of Sora's personality. A lot of it does come from the raw emotion of Roxas hating the organization.
You'll be better off now, Roxas.
This game doesn't star Sora, but does feature scenes of him, though the only significant scene I can really recall that can show more about his character is the scene where Roxas, Riku, and Xion were having that breakdown on Destiny Islands. At first, it switches between all three before zooming in on a blue eye, and zooming out to show Sora. If this really is Sora, and not just a hint about Xion, then that would mean he blames himself for throwing away those friends and letting the islands get destroyed, showing that he would never actually want to do that as his friends are his power.
You may be my master, but I will not let you hurt my friend!
Sora makes a minor appearance in this game, and he's only about 4 years old, but even then, he still has a huge heart of gold. He is showing loving his friend Riku as he states, "He's my bestest friend." Not only that, when Ven's heart was destroyed, he accepted Ven into his own heart to protect him. Sora's always been a brave kid, and even before he could wield a Keyblade, he would do what he had to in order to protect those who would need it. It's honestly really nice to see that.
My friends, they are my power!
Sora, again, for the most part, is pretty similar to his KH1 self, though here he's not as angry or annoyed by things like he is in 2. A lot of people seem to have a problem with his attitude in this game, and while not fully on the page, I can understand why. Sora here seems to be a bit more naive than before and seems a little too trusting. More than his usual self anyway, but that could be because he's more mature from everything he's been through, and now Roxas is probably also feeling better too, so that could play into it. My problems with it are early on in the game and maybe a few other scenes, but it's not like he's outright stupid.
Hey, I didn't catch your name.
Dream Eaters!
That's a weird name.
Not me, them.
Right, I knew that.
He's always had his dumb moments, and even clever moments. Even if it was just bad writing for this game or just me not understanding, probably the latter, not much has changed after 2. He's still very happy-go-lucky and still wants to help people those who need it like Neku. Although I do think he's a little bit too easy on Neku. Not that he wouldn't give him another chance, especially since he knows that Neku was tricked, but it isn't all that bad. During the Mark of Mastery exam that he's taking in this game, we learned that the true organization was following him through the X on his clothing. While Xehanort may know this wouldn't work, if they had gotten their hands on Sora, they would be even more powerful than what we faced before, despite losing all of his powers to take this exam. During the end credit scenes, though, we can see how much of a wonderful friend he is to Riku when he finds out that he got the Mark of Mastery. He was genuinely happy for him.
If you are who you say, and it was fate that brought us here, then my path is clear.
In Kingdom Hearts 3, Sora's back to level 0 and has to learn the power of waking, so he has to start by visiting Herc. Throughout the game, he needs to learn how to use it, but he doesn't really learn it until near the end of the game, and we can see how that affects him early on, during with scenes like Yen Sid and Peter Maleficent. It's subtle, but you can tell it's actually affecting him. Though he's able to at least try and jump back, but with all the baggage he has, it seems that he's down a lot, especially when everyone, or at least Goofy, Donald, and Yen Sid, won't let him go to the Realm of Darkness to go help Riku and Mickey. After a while though, he risks it and goes in after them, and is even able to save Aqua after being gone for so long, showing that he may have more than just the power of waking inside of him. Eventually they go and save Ventus as well, and that's where Sora learns how to use that power. Although he does use it a lot in the game, which causes him to essentially die. Kingdom Hearts 3 has shown that Sora has grown a lot from these past adventures, even more than what people may know. Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora, in my opinion, is the best, as not only does he have some sort of his old confident self, but also despite his struggles mentally, he's able to push past them and risk himself just to reset the timeline and save his friends, even at the cost of himself.
As I thought, your voice can't reach us here.
And Mom, he shows up right at the end to save Kairi, and honestly, what more can I really say? His friends are his power, especially Kairi and Riku. I guess what I want to say is that I don't really understand why people are arguing about KH3 and KH2 Sora. They're both great in their own right, and that over the games he's matured from a somewhat self-conscious kid to what we have now. He'll probably even mature a bit further while still willing to risk himself for others during this new arc, as seen in the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer. People need to realize that Sora is just a kid with not just the world on his shoulders, but pretty much everything. He's going to have these problems and even may seem out of character because of it. Who wouldn't at this point? Still, with the way that things are going, I think we'll see him grow even more. I think it'll be a great ride, so let's not fight over which is the best and just enjoy the story. Or at least enjoy the games. This has been Kingdom Cakes. Thank you all for watching this. Remember that we all grow, and that your heart is your guiding key. See you guys around. Bye-bye.